the 8th day of February for 2021. Welcome into my house. It's a little cleaner, not totally clean, but a little cleaner. I did manage to pick up a few things before we got started this morning, but still kind of got a messy place going on here, but just going to have to live with it. We're going to have a common theme running through today's update. By the way, I'm Dan Gresham. As I said, I am at home in my house, hence we call it Dan's At Home Update. We welcome you in whenever we're home. We're going to do this. And I should give you kind of a heads up here at the beginning of this morning's live stream. And that's what it's called when you're on Facebook. We are live. We are streaming. Hence, it is called a live stream. That we will be missing for a bit. Coming up next week. So just kind of a heads up to you moving forward, because it is Dan's At Home. When I'm home, I can do these. And next week, I may not be home. So I may not be able to do them quite as regular, but I promise as soon as I'm capable, I will be right back. And again, that would be starting on Monday. So we got some time. I want to talk, the reoccurring theme this morning is, what's the old adage? Necessity is the mother of invention. Isn't that right? That when we are put in times in which we need solutions and it's forced upon us, then we find ways to overcome, right? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how we've always been a country that could do that. We've always been a people that could do that. And this is not, here it is, sort of my American arrogance by saying, as a country, certainly there are other countries that have shown the same resolve. There are other countries who have done the same thing. But we like to think that that's, part of our heritage. We like to think of that's part of our makeup. When the going gets tough, we get going, right? That's the same concept. When you face a task that seems insurmountable, that we find some way to. But we also have to be realists to the point that we can recognize some things may not be surmountable. There are certain things that we have not cancer. For example, we have not conquered cancer. Now, some people may be saying, well, that's because we really don't want to, because it's, there's always, it's a great business for a lot of people. They make, it's a huge industry. Cancer is a huge industry. You can go there. But what I'm saying is there are certain things that, whether we like it or not, are not easily taken care of. Well, I think the coronavirus is another good example. Let's give it the American, know-how, and we can take care. Well, even if you use that, you're not going to get rid of it in a day. You're not going to get rid of it. Here we are a year later, and we're finally starting to see vaccines come into our country. And even at that, we can't manufacture them quick enough, to be able to take care of everyone who might want one immediately. But we are pretty inventive. And of course, we did fast track this vaccine, which has some people concerned, others not so much. All right, jump in this morning if you want. Let us know you're here. Say good morning. Tell us what's on your mind. Agree or disagree with anything that Dan might say. Because remember, this is not a newscast. These are just observations of things that are happening in our world, just one man's opinion. And then, of course, hopefully, your opinion as well. For example, Marie is up with us this morning. Hi, Candy. Jennifer is here. Amber is here this morning. Who else is up this morning? Oh, Tammy's here this morning. Esparza Francisco is with us this morning. Also, Carlene Pardue, Christine Walker. Hi, Tom. Hope you're having a great day up in Illinois. Also, Thelma McClellan, good morning to you. Hi, Jimmy Fields. Hope your day is off to a good start. Kelly Jones, good morning. The fourth day. What did I say? Did I say it was the third day? I'm really kind of lost. I can look at my watch and it tells me that it's the fourth. Maybe I should have said that. Good morning, David. Their inviter. Chason, good morning to you. Amanda says, it's not the fourth, Dan. I think I did say the fourth. It is the fourth, unless my watch has lost it as well as me. Also this morning, Carol says, good morning from Elkhart. Jeannie Foster says it's World Cancer Day. Hi, Linda. Shakira Walker, good morning to you. Margaret Bertrand is up with us this morning. And so is Carrie. And here's the question. Do you always jump to the assumption that when you see Richard in Southeast Texas, that it's Richard? That's kind of like jumping to the assumption that it's Bear. Maybe yes, maybe no. So maybe it's Carrie Richard. Either way, good morning. Alexia, good morning to you. Do they have that same kind of dilemma in other parts of the country, where they have to deal with that? Cassandra Cherry says she's ready for some rain. Cassandra, there are a lot of people that probably tell you they still have even a little bit of moisture still in the yard. Carla, good morning to you. Kelly Jones says it is the 4th. Carol says, Dan, hope you're doing good. And Carlene says, hope everything goes well for you next week. Yeah, no reason to expect that it wouldn't. But again, just a heads up. If you come to the Facebook page and you're like, well, I'm going to check in, see what Gresham's doing. Well, we're going to take a few days, but we will be back. And of course, we'll get back into it as quickly as we possibly can. All right, let's do what we do on the update. Let's look at some things that are going on. Nice computer screen, Dan. But here's where I want to start. That's KFDM.com, your first stop on the internet, where you can go and catch up on all the latest headlines from across Southeast Texas. And of course, a couple of stories that jump out at me this morning. First of all, one that we talked about, and you you saw this coming, was that, yesterday we did this story, state approves vaccine hub for Southeast Texas. That we should be getting 11,000 doses of the vaccine. And we talked about this yesterday. You hate to be cynical, but the reality is, see it when you believe it. The proof is when it shows up, then you go, okay, it really did happen. And to that end, the county judge of Jefferson County, Jeff Brannick, is pretty much saying the same thing. Yeah, we want you to be excited. We want you to be prepared. We want you to sign up. But we also want you to know that there's a good chance that it doesn't arrive exactly on time. And there's also a good chance that it may be less than 11,000. But that when it does happen and when it is here, that they are prepared and ready to open up a hub. So there you go. Also this morning, no big surprise, I don't think, the fact that we have a teacher shortage in Southeast Texas. Substitute teachers, hard to find. But what might surprise you is how many substitute teachers are needed in our schools across Southeast Texas. For example, in just one school district, the Port Arthur Independent School District, we reported this morning that on a daily average, they need about 150 substitute teachers. 150. And a lot of them are not available anymore for whatever reason, and of course, teachers being put in a situation that they are, maybe exposed directly to someone with, want to quarantine. That's a lot of people to have to ring up. Hey, need you tomorrow. But of course, there are some things that are in place to help them find that. For example, you don't have to have a teacher's certificate to substitute teach. They get paid better if they have that, is the way I understand it, but you don't have to have it. So if you're interested in helping out, you might want to give them a call. Also, this morning, we're talking about small business in Southeast Texas in a couple of different ways. Spirit Week at Lamar, highlighting Lamar alumni who are in business. Good story about a gentleman in Port Arthur who has opened a feed store. And we reported it's the first Black-owned feed store in Texas. And he has been Randy Martin. It's called the Commissioner's Corral. And the whole idea, the whole effort is that support small businesses, when you, especially during this time, when you have the option, and I get it. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes, it's hard to find what you want. Other times it's hard to justify in your mind. You go, well, wait a minute. This is going to cost me X number of dollars more. Because let's be honest, it's tough. How does mom and pop, how does a locally owned business compete with the volume of an internet or a big box store? It's almost impossible. If it's me making the choice, I'm willing to spend a few more dollars to support a local business. I got no problem with that. Because, generally speaking, what I think will happen and what I've found to be true is that when I shop with somebody local, I get a lot more attention. I also, know that I can go back there and many times they'll remember what I bought. They'll remember me as a customer. They'll value me. We can create this relationship as, the consumer and the seller, which you're not going to do very well with these large online, I promise you, that's not going to happen. But the driving factor, generally speaking, is what? Bottom line, what does it cost? And a few dollars is one thing, but I think for most of us, if we want to buy something and it starts becoming $50, $60, $70 difference, then we're kind of like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can pull the trigger on local if it's that big of a difference. But think about what you're doing and think about what you're investing in when you shop local. Can't be done all the time. You know that. There are certain things maybe you can't find here. But when you can't, let's encourage and remind ourselves to do that. It takes a little bit of effort. I'll be honest with you. It's not one of those things that, just because it's too easy to jump online. It's too easy. Oh, I can have it tomorrow. Don't have to leave the house. It does. It takes effort, but it's very important for all those people who have invested in their community by opening these businesses that we as a community support them. Don't have to do it every day, but you'd certainly hope that you'd try your hardest to do that. Also this morning, when we talk about stories that are out there, we're also in Southeast Texas looking at a story about a Black History Month display that's causing some controversy at Vincent Middle School, not because of the middle school, but because of the actions by the BISD, what they did, why they took some things down. You can certainly go and read that story if you'd like. And a story that affects so many people in Southeast Texas. If you missed it, the YMBL is moving back the start date on the South Texas State Fair. That's right. They're moving it back. They're not canceling it. Don't read cancel into this. Read delay, because they just feel like they don't want to cancel it, but at the same time, they can't in good faith have the fair right now in the middle of an ongoing pandemic. And oh, hey, come on out. Let's have some crowds out here. They just don't feel like they can do that. So what they're saying is we're going to try to do this, by pushing it back to May. And they're going to continue to watch the situation and then make a decision in hopes of not canceling. Because, they canceled the Houston Rodeo and people are losing their minds in Houston that the rodeo was canceled, right? It's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? This is a part of our life. I get it. But at the same time, the people who are organizing and running these events, do they really have much choice? We've been talking a lot about vaccines. Let's jump over here and talk about does this surprise anybody, this headline? USA Today, cutting, bribing, stealing. Some people are getting COVID-19 vaccines before it's their turn. Anybody surprised? No, you're not. Come on. This happens when people are buying tickets to a concert. Certainly it's going to happen if you're buying something that could save your life. I'm just surprised it's not more widespread. I'm just surprised that that we don't see violence. I'm happy. I'm thankful. But I'm also surprised that we don't see it happening in lines, where people are waiting. Thankful for that. Boy, have you seen the Texas Motor Speedway up in Denton County? They're running thousands of people, thousands every day. They've got 16 lanes of drive-through vaccines. This can be done. It's not a matter of how do you do it. It's a matter of, do you have it, right? Do you have the vaccine to be able to do that is the problem at this point. Also this morning, here's another story that I was kind of watching and talking a little bit about. Because again, going back to the very beginning of our update here, we were talking about, necessity being the mother of invention, how we come up with our workarounds in life. And we all do. If you can't reach something, you use the grabber, right? They have grabbers now. You see a guy walking around, he can't bend down, but he can grab. Somebody had to come up with it. I saw one the other day. This is a good one. And it's those things that you don't think about, but they're out there. There's an invention out there for people who, for example, maybe they've lost mobility, or they've gotten to the point they're older, they struggle bending over to put their shoes or socks on. There is actually an invention out there. I should have pulled it up. I didn't think about it. That will help you put your socks on. You thread it on one-handed, you set it on the floor, you push your foot down into it, and it threads your sock up on. Yeah. Who knew? So again, that was their necessity, and somebody invented it. So again, these are the things that happen around us that sometimes we are oblivious to. Also out there this morning, a lot of people saying good morning. Margaret Bertrand, good morning to you. Angela Connolly, thank God somebody has a brain. Also this morning, Kelly Jones says the YMBL needs to bring the Southeast Texas State Fair back to the north end of Beaumont. Yes, Carlene says they also canceled the Heritage Festival. They did indeed. Somebody says, what was I looking at? I saw one just a few minutes ago. Oh, Angela says, yeah, it's a big shoe spoon. No, I'm telling you, Angela, this is not a shoe spoon. This is a sock. I don't even know what do you call that? A sock threader, I don't know, but I'll try to remember tomorrow and see if I can pull up some video. It's pretty fascinating to watch, honestly. But again, all these stories floating out there. Remember, do yourself a favor. When it comes to reading, don't be so what's a good word for it? Myopic. That you just, think you only want to read one side of things, and you only want to, do certain things that agree with your point of view. Read a lot of different things out there. Look at a lot of different things. Don't accept everything, the first thing you read, as being the only version of, a story. There are a lot of them out there. So as you go through your day-to-day, challenge yourself. Go someplace new. If you spend time on the internet, and you only read the Wall Street Journal, or you only read this newspaper, read another newspaper, watch another television station. Did he really say it? Yes, I did say that. Because, since it's cliche day, variety is the spice of life. Variety is also the way in which we open our heads, open our minds, open our point of view a little bit. I'm not saying that you have to change. I'm just saying it's not a bad idea to take in a number of different sources throughout the course of the day. All right. Finally, a couple of things. Going to ask you if you would hit me with a like. I would appreciate that. If you want to continue to put a comment, always try to leave the video running for a few minutes, a couple of seconds anyway, at the end of the live stream, so you can post anything you want to post up. And also, of course, I like to show you a variety of different ways that you can keep up with us. By Facebook, you can also do it on Twitter, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel where we post our updates every single day. All right, so let's finish up on a lighter note this morning. And again, coming back to the original theme about necessity, a lot of folks have discovered they had to find new ways to do business, a new way to do things, a new business model during this pandemic, right? This one's pretty clever, I think. What you had people who had empty hotel rooms. This is from the Houston Chronicle, by the way. People who had empty hotel rooms, and you had restaurants who had empty dining rooms, right? When suddenly these two worlds collide and someone said, what if we turned empty hotel rooms into private dining rooms? You know, people wanted to eat out, but they didn't want to be in a crowd. Maybe you as a hotel could offer some kind of incentive. Maybe you don't even have to stay overnight. Maybe, you just rent your room out, because when your occupancy is below 50%, anything is better than nothing, right? So the two get together and say, okay, and this is happening all over the country. This particular story is about Detroit. Customers pay $50 for the use of the room, and then they order their meal from the restaurant, which is just down the street, and they eat and enjoy the company of one another in privacy, but they're out of the house. Now, the other is somebody at these hotels said, well, I bet people are tired of working from home, or they have situations in which they can't work from home. Maybe they've got kids, maybe whatever it is. Why don't we offer them office space? We'll just put it in hotel rooms. And that is exactly what's happened. College students using hotel rooms to take virtual classes in. Parents are renting out rooms as a place for their kids and their child care provider to spend the day. Again, because you have to, because we have to, not because we want to. And again, this has always been the way. This is just, to me, it is part of the human nature that when we are faced with difficult times, we seek to find ways to work around things, to make life easier, to sustain ourselves, to keep going. So be open to those ideas when you see them. Don't just shoot them down just because maybe it's not something you need. Maybe you would never go to a restaurant in a hotel, but maybe you know somebody who would. Maybe you know people that are trying to set up a client dinner, but they don't feel comfortable going. Again, it's out there, and somebody was, I think smart enough to come up with it. Wasn't me. All right, I am done for the day. Well, not really. I've got other things to do, but I am done here for the day. Appreciate your time as always. I say it, I mean it. I know that, and it's true for me too. Time is the greatest currency in life. People want to think it's money, but you know what? You can make a lot of money. You can lose it and you can make it again. But you know what? When you give away your time, you never get it back. So, again, use it wisely, your time. Make a good investment. And I appreciate that you invested some of that with us today. I hope it was worth it to you. I hope you got a return on your investment. All right, I'm out of here. Again, I will see you tomorrow. So if you're not with us tomorrow, just a reminder, I'll be out for a few days. All right, but I'll pop back in when I can, I promise. Till the next time we do have a chance to get together, I wish you a very, very good day.